Welcome to Kinky Knots Cafe's Proactive is the Way. Proactive is the Way is a podcast brought to you by two sisters who dove into the health and wellness industry. One plan and the other by fate. We have joined forces to bring to you authentic conversations about our personal experiences as it relates to managing our health, working within the industry, and taking our combined knowledge to share with you some pearls of wisdom that you can take with you to live the best version of you. Over the next year, we will host 2 episodes a month. And each month we will focus on a topic that is designed to increase an awareness of tools and resources to enhance an aspect of your mind, body, and spirit. All right, folks, we are wrapping up this month by sharing our Odyssey plans. If you are asking yourself, what are Odyssey plans? Well, at a high level, as the author shares, life is an odyssey, an adventurous journey into the future with hopes and goals, helpers, lovers, and antagonists, unknowns, and serendipities, all unfolding over time in a way we both intend at the start and weave together as we go. Odyssey plans are sketches of possibilities that can animate your imagination and help you choose which wayfinding direction you will actually take to start prototyping and living into the next. So if you haven't noticed or you missed it, Proactive is the Way 2022 to 2023 season was all about diving deeper into the Designing Your Life book by giving you more context around certain ideologies presented and taking more time to better understand ourselves to either learn something new, enhance, or self-correct certain behaviors to be the best version of ourselves to be most effective for this moment right now in designing our lives. We learned over this past year about our habits. Why do we do things the way we do? How to eliminate bad habits and create new ones and focus on building good habits by reading Atomic Habits. We talked about how not to backslide into our bad habits by reading The Mountain Is You. We learned about defining our principles. What do we value and are willing to flex or not flex on when managing our lives by reading You, Oh, You by Eric Thomas. We also learned about flow states and dove into what flow states mean and how to generate more of them to go from good to great in life. We tapped into finding our vocation, developing self-awareness, self-management, relationship management, and improved our thinking process. Then we wrapped up by learning how to leverage an ideation tool that helps to improve your mental performance. A tool, by the way, that I actually used for my most recent exam to acquire my group fitness certification. It was pure genius, right? And I share with you guys that I passed. And this week, I just got to highlight this here. Damn. I received it.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. Came in so excited. So excited. All right. All right, so it has been quite a year. I don't know about you, but I feel I have truly grown a lot. And the way that we grow really and truly is by leveraging the resources that we have provided, doing the work, if you will. All right, so, but if you're just now joining us and you missed any of the helpful series that we have put on for over the past year, guess what, folks? What do you think? We got them all on replay. All right. You can always go to www.kinkyknotscafe.com/proactive is the way to catch up. And if you want to pick up any of the books to read or listen to, please click on our green KK Cafe approved checkmark to access all books featured during this season. All right, so a lot of good stuff, too, right? So now let's go ahead. We're going to get into it. Are you ready, Tiffany?
Yep.
Ready to talk about your Odyssey plan?
Yeah.
All right. Let's say that again.
Yeah. No. I can talk about my Odyssey plan.
All right, good. So before we dive into your Odyssey plan, I'm going to talk a little bit about the methodology at a very high level to creating the best version of you for a moment in time, right? So step one, when we were creating these Odyssey plans, the authors recommended that when we create them, we create at least 3 life designs or Odyssey plans. And he basically broke it down like this. Number 1, focus on the life that you are currently doing. It's a good idea that deserves your attention. Number 2, what is the life that you would do if the first one was no longer an option? And then number 3, the life you would do if money or image did not play a factor and you could make money doing it. And these plans should be developed over a 5-year period. Step 2, he said, develop a 6-word headline describing the essence of your plan. Step 3, formulate or even answer questions that this plan helps to answer. And then the final step, complete the dashboard. The dashboard where you can gauge your resources. Do you have the time, the money, the skills, the contacts that you need to pull off your plan? Likability, are you hot or cold or warm about your plan? The confidence, are you feeling full of confidence or pretty certain about pulling this plan off? And then lastly, coherence. Does the plan you make, does it make sense within yourself? And is it consistent with you, your work view, and your life view? Some other possible considerations, he said, make sure you think about your geography. Where would you live? What experience or learning do you hope to gain out of all of this? What are some impacts, results of choosing this particular plan? He also talked about the role, the industry, if it's a company that you want to see yourself in. You want to think about all these things and keep more things in mind other than just career and money. And of course, if you get stuck in all of this, mind map it. All right, so that's at a very high level. I didn't want to dive real deep into it, too deep into it, but just give you a quick overview of the Odyssey plans. To learn more, of course, I prepared the way. I've already offered you a link to a free course that is hosted by the authors of Designing Your Life called Odyssey Planning. Please check out our last podcast to gain access. All right, Tiffany, I'm ready. I want you to share with us one of your plans. And before you do, let me ask you the question, how many plans were you able to come up with?
So I have about three plans.
Okay.
Um,
Okay. And did you have any titles for them, or can you kind of give us a gist of the three that you came up with?
you know what? I did not think of a title. Um,
Okay. Well, what's plan number one? Like, what are you doing right now that is a part of your, or what is plan number one?
so currently, and I think over the year, I've been talking about how it is my desire, my passion to complete my doctorate because that would be the term, the terminal degree of my profession, and that's super important to me to realize the highest educational potential for what it is I do for a living. So I really enjoyed being a nurse practitioner and providing patients and people and families and other professionals with a health perspective that I have cultivated over what has it been, 15 years.
Okay.
So um but so becoming Dr. Tiffany, which my handle on social media has always been Dr. Tiffany is
Okay. You put it into existence, right? Just
yeah, I have I've been Dr. Tiffany. Even when I didn't want to be Dr. Tiffany, I was going to be Dr. Tiffany because people have always called me Dr. Tiffany.
right.
Um, I always just wanted to be a scholar. I wanted to be a part of that. Just I wanted to be a thought leader,
Right.
actually. Because I feel like I got something to say. I feel like I have something to offer, and that it could be profound, and that it could be life changing. Like it really resonated with me. And I know, I like to go on tangents, so I'll try not to be tangential right now. But it really resonated with me when I was it was either bookstore, like, what is that bookstore that's right there on the corner at, in Dayton, right there in that plaza, where the Babies R Us used to be.
What's
Uh,
Oh
was
no,
it
that's
Barnes and Nobles? Barnes and Nobles. And I think I bought that journal from out of there, but on the front of it, or I might have bought it from Target, I'm not sure. Anyway, and it basically said, be the change you wish to see, Mahatma Gandhi.
Mhm.
So, that really resonated with me. And because, healthcare, it kind of chose me, right? Because I was all on these other different paths, when I graduated from undergrad. I was going to go play pro ball in Syria. Then I had a baby. Then I think I'm going to apply to medical school. Oh, then I saw one of the doctors. I went for a physical exam. He's like, you really have a personality, a bedside manner of a nurse. Not that that's, anything bad, blah, 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 but
Mhm.
he gave me good insight. But anyway, so right now what I'm trying to complete is my doctorate. Um, and not trying, that I am going to complete is my doctorate and in nursing.
Okay.
So that uh, um, when I get tired of doing this, when I get tired of the manual labor, I get tired of the organizational politics. And there's organizational politics in everything,
Yeah.
but uh, it it beats you down.
Mhm.
So I need to have a way out, and the academic setting is attractive to me because I genuinely love learning.
Mhm.
Love learning.
Consummate learner.
A consummate learner. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. I
We
mean,
all
always.
should be. We all
Huh?
should be that way, right? I mean, even till the day we die, and I already talked about that because even
It's so much out here, and it's so. If you think about it, it is just so. It is so fulfilling. It can be fulfilling once you once you're able to realize um, who you are through learning, you know what I mean? Like, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. And learning comes in all shapes, forms, right? I had a conversation with a guy who I think he took the quote that I had posted up incorrectly, but I was just basically trying to share that education is key. You know, it's a passport to your future. It does, and when I talk about education, education in every in any type of education, formal and informal education. Having a conversation with somebody at the coffee shop is educational, right? Communicating back and forth together with someone on the telephone could be educational, right? So
you gotta make that commitment to put yourself, you gotta be deliberate about putting yourself in learning moments. Like, yeah. And I think that's what formal education is too, for me. Mm-hmm. It's a deliberate, because being on the phone and talking in a coffee shop might not be so deliberate, right? It might just be spontaneous.
But you can, if you are intentional, intentional about your ability to be receptive to different thoughts, different ideas, every instance, every interaction you have with someone will be an educational experience. And I just think about, like, even when yesterday, a prime example, I was talking to a woman on the phone. I think it was woman on the phone. It was my kid's teacher. We were doing our welcome. And she's like, oh my gosh, what you just said gave me goosebumps. And we were just vibing back and forth. And I learned something about, because she was talking about her family. And in this town, she's lived for 45 years, the girl never left. And I was like, damn, but she helped me.
Could you keep your eyes still? I was like, what? 45 years. Could you imagine 45 years in Dayton, Ohio?
Girl. I could not. I told her, I said, it's so funny. I said,
ain't never lived on the west side, but look like you did.
Oh,
by the time, girl, please. Or the east. Oh, please. Jesus help me.
They will wear you out, boy. Won't it? Won't it do it? Wear your ass out. But anyways, that's all right, Dayton. I love y'all. But yeah, so but you have to be receptive to the educational, every moment, and try to find, well, what is the learning? What am I supposed to learn in this moment, right? I think we're not taught to be critical thinkers,
Oh my God. Do you know how many times I said that this week?
Oh, really?
Yeah. Toya, I said that this week. I said, you know what? I'm not doing this with y'all this week. Toya, I was so heated. I almost walked out of my clinic this week.
Wow.
I don't know what kept me in place. I honestly was going to leave.
Proactive is the way. Those social emotional conversations we had.
Right. Girl, I started talking to myself. I was just like, you know what? I will leave out of here right now. Not talking to nobody. I was just like, this is
as long as you don't answer, you good, girl. You can talk all day to yourself.
I was like, I need a mental health day. I was like, I need multiple mental health days. I was like, I'm getting anxiety. I can't optimize my patient's care. This gives me, girl, I was going there. I said, because people are not expected to critically think. I said, the pharmacy keep calling me. I mean, Toya, just getting all just, and I think the worst thing it is for me is and the best word for it is contrary. Mm-hmm. When people are asking questions, I'm not saying a question is dumb, but I'm saying, think about the question you asking, because you've taken up my time before you ask the question. Mm-hmm. So just be mindful of the person's time that you're taking up when you ask the question. Mm-hmm. And make sure it's meaningful. Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I was gonna leave, and I still feel like I don't want. I still feel like, because I'm not around critical thinkers. Listen, if you stay around something long enough, that's what you're gonna become.
This is so true.
I don't like that around me, like, at all. Not when I'm doing in my when I'm doing my work and I'm in my mode and I'm in my zone, I
Mhm.
don't want to be bothered with no foolishness, as Daddy would call it. I
Right.
want to, I want to be able to focus and, be able to create treatment plans that are meaningful treatment plans. You can't do that with a whole bunch of chaos around you. It's impossible.
Yes.
And um, and I just get that. And I feel like as a contractor, because they think they paying me so much, but they're really not.
Mhm.
Because you don't pay me for my creativity. You're not paying me for my creativity because I'm creating stuff for people as they come there. Yeah, y'all give us templates to use,
Mhm.
but I go outside of my template. I'm looking at the individual. I truly individualize people's care.
Right.
I don't get paid for that.
Right.
You pay me to show up.
Right.
So anyway, so working on the doctorate, that's plan one. Once I get this out of the way, I feel like my path will be clear. Now I say all that, but that's kind of like saying if I won the lottery, I my path will be clear. And we know that's a lie, right?
Right. Right. Well, you know,
But
what do they say when you get to the bottom of one mountain? That just means that you are at, I'm sorry, when you get to the top of one mountain, means you're at the bottom of the next.
and that's okay. That's okay because the top of this mountain is what I want to achieve.
Right.
Because I honestly feel that over my lifetime, um, you know, you have these naysayers, including yourself, right?
Okay.
You know, that don't actually, they don't truly believe in what you're capable of.
Nope.
They do a lot of lip service. They're not for real supporting you or cheering you on or rooting for the best version of you, which is why you have to do so much for yourself, right? And say to yourself and things like this, keep grooming your own self, right?
Self
Um,
is so critical. People don't understand self-talk, self-love
yeah, it's very
is very critical to have because when no one else has it for you, you have to be able to hold yourself up. And the other, the flip side of that is if you don't possess it, if you don't have it, you can't expect for people to love you. You can't expect for people to respect you. Uh,
right.
it's really important to have that to be able to self-talk positively, positive self-talk, and then also self-love.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so that's plan number one. There is no and so after number one always come number two. But in plan number two, he says if plan number one fails, plan number one can't fail. It's
Never.
not gonna fail.
And he
I'm
talked
not I'm
about
not
that.
going to plan two if it, because plan one, I'm not going to plan two in the mindset of plan one failed. So I don't have no plan two.
Right. Oh, like, I don't have really a plan to. But no, but the reality is that honestly, and he talks about that, there is really no failure in any of this because each of these plans are possibilities. And each of these plans may lead you into developing something completely different.
That's true. I
So
agree with that.
and so the reality is, and this is, he talks about a designer and the thought process of a designer, because they don't ever, when they're designing, just have one thing that they're focusing on. They are literally building in parallel, designing different plans, different options in parallel, and considering all of them. Right. Which is why he wants you to develop at least three, and it's not about failing. It's really about which one fits me best at this moment. And I shared that in one of our first or second episodes that I am a firm believer that we can design multiple lives, right? We can have multiple versions of ourselves. But it's very important that when we think about those multiple versions, having the capability to focus on one of those versions and fully flush it out, right? and from my perspective, and I'll get to talk about mine here, hopefully in a moment, but, or doing them all simultaneously.
Right.
Right. But
Not spreading yourself too thin.
not spreading yourself too thin. And I'll talk about,
Because I think, I have an example of someone who spread themselves too thin right now. And now just the amount of stress because of the economic situation our whole country is in, like the amount of stress that causes, and then that can disrupt your plan.
this is so true. This is so, but that's why, you have to learn. I think a lot of people, when they formulate their plans, they try to mimic someone else, or they try to please the Joneses, if you will, or they're not doing it in a way that is aligned with their day to day. Or who they are as a person. So, and I'll give you an example. Like, I love Yoga with Adrienne. I watch her all the time, right? She's actually who inspired my love for yoga. But
is she on YouTube?
She's on YouTube. She's got a great platform. She's got all these subscribers. She's amazing, right? But I know I'm not no Adrienne. I was like, I'm not doing an Adrienne. I'm sorry. I love yoga, but I'm not a yoga with Adrienne. And because she does it like every day, right? And I do yoga every day personally, but I know if I did that for people, that would exhaust me, honestly. I think I would feel exhausted. Which is why I created.
How can yoga be exhausting?
When you're doing it recording, right? You know all of that behind the scenes, folks don't see all the editing. Oh God, got to match the music because you got to cut out a piece or leave the music out. She's very smart. Leave the music out. But anyway, but I had to, for my yoga practice and what I wanted to share in terms of teaching, that's why I created the 20 days of summer. I was like, this is all I can give y'all right now. I can't give y'all no more. Okay. Saturday and Sunday for 10 weeks in the summer, and I'm done. But that's what fits me. And that's what we have to get better at. You don't walk around trying to please the Joneses. Don't walk around trying to do what they do. You have to do what fits and what resonates with you so that you are not burnt out, so you don't become burnt out, so that you're not overwhelmed, and so you don't give up, because that's what will happen when you're not being true to yourself. What happens? You're going to give that up, right? When you doing something just to be doing it.
Oh, that's true. I agree. I agree with that.
And that's what I see. I see a lot of people, they just doing stuff just to be doing it. There's no heart behind it. It's prestige. It's being noticed. It's, fitting all of those societal desire, trying to meet those societal desires, that you see. And so from my perspective, you are right. You have to be very, very careful. Don't do too much. And then what you do, you have to make sure that it is aligned with who you are as a person. Right. So let's get going, because I know we want to be mindful of time here. I just wanted to highlight. So for myself, I did come up with 3, and the titles of mine for plan number 1, it was called Embracing Motherhood and Enjoying Each Moment. And we'll share our plans. We'll share our plans separately, but I just wanted to make sure that I shared that. Plan number 2 for me was Kinky Knots Cafe. So the title I picked for that was Revive, Refresh, Repeat, a Dream Reawakened. And then plan number 3 was Rise My Angels, It Is Finished. So those are my 3 plans. The first 2 I was able to flesh out very, very well. The last one is probably going to take me some years, and we'll see if that one gets to come to fruition. It's actually a plan that I had created back in 2014.
It sounded like somebody died on that third one.
Yes.
Like, Rise My Angel.
Rise My Angel. And
It is
it's not
finished. I don't like nothing to
a
say it is
person.
finished.
It's not a rise my angels, it is finished. It is not death by of a person. It's death of an ideology. It's death of a system. So I want to flush that one out. That one's going to take some time. So, but I won't be sharing that one today. So you shared with us the fact that you're going to get your doctorate and continue on the path of being a nurse practitioner. And then hopefully once all of that is said and done, going into the field of academics, which is a great segue, especially when you're getting ready to retire. That's definitely the best. And then also, I love that. I think it's so important that we leverage what we do within our lives to educate others, to
Yes,
help.
and that's what I was gonna say. Exactly. Like lead the way and leave the way.
Yeah,
Like
your
let
legacy.
them right, like let them now take over. Because now it's your time to take over. And actually that's a philanthropist thought. Because if you listen to Bill and Melinda Gates, they
Mhm.
say, okay, we have paved the way. We've given most of our wealth to this cause.
Mhm.
When we leave here, we're not leaving. We'll do it for another 10 years. That's in the trust or that's in the foundation. And then somebody else needs to pick up
Yeah.
because we've not shown you how to do it.
Yes. Yeah.
So yeah, hopefully I'm able to make prayerfully I'm able to make that kind of contribution um to this lifetime.
Yeah.
Because that is my true desire. When I look at and most of them are men, but there are other like the one author, because I really follow, I realize now thinking about myself, I'm really into social justice. Like I'm really into advancing people that are part of vulnerable populations. I'm learning that about myself, that that's what I desire to help, because I feel so happy when I'm around that.
Mhm.
And I know you're like, happy? It seems like those
You're
situations are very sad, huh?
no, but you giving a piece of yourself is and being able to, and then people being receptive to that. That's
Yeah. So yeah, and so I feel happier around that setting.
Mhm.
But when I think about thought leaders, like their contribution, like Cornell West, Michael Eric Dyson, and then gosh, I should really know her name, Michelle. She's an Ohio State professor, and she wrote schools to prison like pipeline.
Mhm.
Gosh, how the author
How our prison system is in terms of
and how it basically oppresses the
properly.
minority.
Mhm.
Uh-huh. Um, um, uh, hold on. But anyway, because I wanted to give you the new Jim Crow, mass incarceration.
Yeah.
Michelle Alexander. She's actually a professor, I believe, at Ohio State University.
Okay.
Now. But things like that, those topics, those grassroots movements, those social justice
Mhm.
initiatives, those excite me, and being able to combine it and with healthcare and get people to collaborate, and how we can use healthcare um, to eliminate this disparity that we see, because the average person, the average Black male, once they leave prison, I think their lifespan is shortened. I want to say they don't live very many years after they've been released, having served a long term. So just trying to improve, their health perspectives, and yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I go on tangents.
Yes. Yes. Yes, you do. Um, but that reminded me of Yale. I know Yale. Did Yale have a somebody I saw on Facebook? I said I'm going to have to research that because I didn't know Yale had uh, an educational program for prisoners. I said, I'm gonna have to take a look at that. You have to Google that for me and see if, but I know Sinclair has one, Sinclair Community College here in Dayton. They're very big on that. And they had a big population of individuals who are in prison graduate. And
Yeah.
so I love, like what you just shared, how folks are taking that knowledge, that information that she presented, and they're doing something about it.
It's called the University of New Haven joined the Yale Prison Education Initiative, YPEI, enabling incarcerated students to matriculate in 2 and 4 year degrees, creating pathways for released students on campus. And so, you know what? Because if you notice what happened after, and this was, it was by design, which we say that all the time, but I don't think we really define by design. So basically, when we say by design, we're meaning the government set it up that way because they're trying to create some sort of financial pathway, either for the government or some other big entity.
Well, it's becoming a burden. Think about this. Yes,
but it's not. You make up today. Toya, those prisoners are in there working for free, girl.
Yes, no. When they get out, it's going to be a burden on our social system.
Right. Okay. So true. Okay, I didn't understand.
So you'd be dumb not to educate them or assist them with being able to uplift themselves so they would go out and have the desire to work, to have the desire to be contributors to society. You just gonna unleash them without prepping them and preparing them how to now interact with others, how to, you have to, because if you don't do that, then they're going, instead of becoming a contribution, a steward, they're going to become a burden.
Right.
Even so that's making you money in the long run, it's not.
So to that point, to that point, oh man, I was gonna say something and then it just slipped my brain.
That's okay. That's okay. Because I'll continue.
Go ahead.
You can interrupt me. Okay.
Okay. Go ahead.
When it comes back to you. But so the plan that I wanted to share, and I'm actually just going to put the plans, I'm going to make them accessible to you all. Y'all guys can take a look at it. We won't hash through those plans, but you'll get to see my Revive, Refresh, Repeat, a Dream Reawaken plan. I'll make sure to provide that to you. But one thing that I wanted to, because I really wanted to talk about as you were going through this process, what challenges did you experience when you were designing this version of yourself? And how did you overcome these challenges?
So the challenges that I have found, developing my plan is one, having a fragmented plan, because truthfully, when you're planning things, you had mentioned the word succinct, being concise, being clear about your plan, right? I just knew what I wanted to do and jump right in. I threw myself right in, right? But I don't necessarily think that I had a plan. I do think that planning is very, very important. So I had a fragmented plan. So that was one of my challenges. My second challenge was, and it still goes along with planning, not being able to separate my personal life from my professional life. They kind of collide. I don't have good balance there. So, and I know that I don't have good balance, which is probably why most of the time I stay frustrated. And then another challenge, and people are probably like, why they always got to bring up race? But it's been my race. And
how has your race impacted positively or negatively in designing this version of yourself?
It's kind of been both. But at the same time, I still feel limited opportunities. In spite of how intelligent, how creative, how articulate, how motivated, I'm self-motivated, self-starting, enthusiastic, And
Always want to put you in a box, don't they?
I mean, just beat me down, honey. I mean, just beat me down to the ground.
What's wrong with all of that? I don't
No,
know.
I don't get it. I'm just
What's
like,
wrong with all of that?
and it cannot be any other. I have tried every single thing. I have, attempted to change the way I speak. I mean, it doesn't even
It's
matter.
not going to
And
matter.
at the end of the day, it doesn't even matter. And so that's why I was just like, you know what, just be,
You
and that's it.
do you.
Because you're damned if you do. That's cliche saying, whatever it's called.
Girl,
You're
it's so
damned if
true.
you do, you're damned, it's, so it's just important for you to center and just be yourself.
Yes,
Yeah, those are the challenges,
Mhm.
and that's not all inclusive. I'm sure I could come up with a lot more.
Yeah.
But what I was going to tell you about the real quick, let me go back to it about what I was going to tell you about the prison thing, and then I lost it again. Jesus, it was right there because my mind is thinking of a whole bunch of different things, and I was going to tell you something
But what I
about.
was going to share, and keep thinking about it because it's going to come back again. But what I was going to share with you as it related to what you just shared is that it is so important that we have to do us. We have to be us in all of that. The other point that I wanted to share was as you talked about some of the challenges around your race. You spoke a lot about the negative aspects of it, but I'm sure that there were positive aspects with regards to your race. And it just came to me when you were talking. I was like, well, you know what? You probably knew how to connect with the population that you truly want to serve, right? You probably have a very good connection because you are as well a part of that population that receive disparate treatment or marginalized within the healthcare industry. So that is that's a beautiful silver lining, if you will. I always look at every situation. I'm like, okay, I'm in a jacked up situation right now. All right, so this is all the bad because we can pick out the bad super. But what out of this can I pick? What out of this situation can I pick that is good, right? Yes, I'm marginalized. Yes, people don't respect me because of my color. Yes, they want to put me in a box. They not trying to hear me. They only want to hear what they want to hear, etc. What can I get out of this, right? What is my learning lesson? What is my takeaway? And so I just wanted to make sure you are aware that guess what? Okay, all of that's going on over there, but I guarantee those same folks can't contribute to society the way that you are, to these people's lives, the way that we are designed to contribute in a positive and a helpful manner. So I just wanted to make sure I shared that with you. The other bit, so I'll talk about my challenges, and I already highlighted it earlier. I'm overly creative. Overly. My mind goes.
I think you can be overly creative.
You don't think so? But I think because I sit here, Tiffany, I literally just be creating shit.
I don't think there's a limit or an extreme of creativity.
Well, it can exhaust you, right? Especially if you're trying to do it all at once. And that was one of my things is that, I kept trying to find the best version to focus on for right now. And I literally, when I was developing Kinky Knots Cafe was just supposed to be hair and skin. That was it. Right. But look how it's morphed, right? Like I got hair, skin, then I went to personal training. Now I got yoga. Then I said, okay, you know what? I like I saw Tiffany with the podcast. I don't, let me help her get that off the ground running, and so I was like, okay, let me do that. And then next thing I know, I was like, oh, remember when I was 15 and I put myself through sewing school, and I was like, oh, and I remember I made them ugly paisley pants and this pencil, this color,
remember that.
This color pencil skirt with the most ugly tweed fabric. I didn't know how to choose no fabric, but I was just committed to the process. Anyway, so now I'm like, oh, now I can design. I can't sew because I lost the skill set Don't do that, folks. When you got a skill, develop it. But hopefully over time I'll get it back. But so I started repurposing clothes. I got some scissors. I said, I cut up some stuff, right? I can cut up all day. So I got some scissors, and now I'm into the whole clothing side. So one of the challenges for me was just really trying to focus on one design and hash that out, but I ended up expanding it and doing them all. I was like, hell, I'm just gonna do them all, right? And then within that, so I don't get burnt out, I don't get overwhelmed, finding a way to work, finding a way to make it work for me. I know I'm not going to sit 2 hours to work on sewing an outfit, but I can cut up something in about 45 minutes.
Right.
Right. All right. So I would say that again.
No, oh, what I was going to tell you was like that's why it's not called rehab and corrections no more.
Oh, okay. What do they call it now?
Corrections. It's called the correctional department. It's no longer called rehab and rehabilitation and corrections. It's
Oh,
no longer called the Department of Rehabilitation and Corrections. It's called the Department of Corrections.
because they don't want to rehab, or corrections is, it sounds like it's redundant though. Corrections, rehab.
No, rehabilitation is totally different than corrections. Corrections has to do with like disciplining.
Oh, that's how they define it. And when I hear,
So that's how
I don't hear discipline. I hear we're taking
they're not trying to correct anybody's
behavior. That's what I.
rehabilitation. Well, I mean, like for physical therapy, do they call physical therapy corrections?
No.
It's a rehabilitation, right? Because you're actually physically doing something, you're creating a plan, you have a plan behind. But in corrections, no, it's to correct you. It's you're disciplined, like for
Yeah, but I think they're taking another. They're probably going to redefine that, hopefully, because if
I want to see if that's
another, I think they're probably going to redefine that if that is the definition for it, because the reality is that you're not really correcting them, you're allowing them to find the light within themselves to self-correct, because the reality is when somebody come to try and correct you, what's the first thing you do?
resist.
Right? I mean, that's psychology 101. Don't go trying to correct folks. Just go ahead and plant that seed. I tell folks, be a gardener. Go ahead and plant that and then walk away, because you better walk away, because they your throat. They be down your throat in a hot second, like, damn, and you just be like, oh, yeah, that is not how I wanted you to take that. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, I think they're going to probably try to redefine that. But I'm glad you see, as you continue talking, you kind of remember what the heck
it was already there. I don't know why it gets stuck on one of them neurons back in it go all the way to the back. They just constantly doing this. They just
I do the same
thing. One is coming forward, the other one then push back. It come on a conveyor belt. It's like I'll be back. I'm just going in. It's so under the belt, like when you at the grocery store, go under the belt, and then it come back. I'm like, what in the holy hell is that?
Good analogy. That is so. It's on a conveyor belt. It'll be back.
It is, and then it just comes right back, and I'm just like, what? I do that when I'm talking to patients. I start talking so fast, trying to get through the visit's supposed to be long. I'm supposed to have 30 to 40 minutes with the patient. They put them in a 10 to 20-minute slot. Then I'm rapid firing treatment plans and stuff, and people looking at me like, what did you say again? Did you say that I'm supposed to exercise 30 to 45 minutes, or did you say 20 minutes? What did the American Health Association say, as well as the Diabetic Association? I'm like, you know what? I don't have time for all of this. I really don't. I don't. But anyway.
Funny. That is too funny. Okay. Let's get back on track. My next question for you was, what recommendations do you have to improve one's experience in developing their Odyssey plans?
The main, you know what, because I think we give up too easy. I think commitment.
Mm-hmm.
But people were like, well, how do I stay committed? You gotta stay focused, just stay committed. Um, I use what I tell my obese patients, right? When they're like, I need to lose weight or I want to lose weight, etc. Right? I say just stay committed, even if you only work out 2 minutes a day. You are eventually going to have that desire, and each day you're gonna add time or it's gonna get easier for you.
A tipping point. Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna be like, I'm doing this every day because I like the way I feel, even after the 2 minutes.
Yep.
2 minutes, give it all you got. That's
Right.
what I tell them. I said, because you know what? After you get off of there, you don't stop burning. You still burning.
For
Your
sure.
body is still using energy,
For sure.
you know. So just real big for me is commitment.
Okay. Yeah. For me, I said get started. Just you may not have everything laid out,
No.
not even know almost where to get started, but just get started. Start asking questions, start, connecting with people. If you don't, researching.
Right. Oh, connecting with people and commitment and connecting. Because see, I don't do that. And I think I would be a lot further along because I haven't really
Guess what?
became comfortable with connecting with people because I lack trust.
Guess what?
I don't trust people.
Our last month. Get ready for that. Okay. Because we're about to hook you up. We're about to hook you up with how to build those connections much more effectively.
Hook me up.
I'm about to hook you up and myself up. Everybody.
Throw fishing rod. Throw the fishing line in.
Get over here. I got something to say to you. We're going to be friends. No, let me stop. All right.
I don't even know how to walk it. And you know what? People be like, you don't know. And look how you talk, you all blah, 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 whatever. And I'm like, but I can't just walk up to somebody and be like, hey, I try, but then it just don't seem like me.
It don't seem genuine. But you gotta, sometimes you do have awkward moments. And I think we have to get okay with silence and with awkwardness, because you're just trying to build, you're trying to feel. And folks don't realize that when we are also speaking, we're leveraging some of our the neurological component of our brain, where our brain is taking the time to process, and not everybody processes in the same way. I'll give an example because I just had it yesterday when I talked to Mohammed's teacher. I didn't necessarily connect initially on, and we had some silent moments, but I allowed that silence so that we can kind of build our thoughts. And then it just started flowing, and it will happen. But you have to allow for those awkward moments. They're normal. It's normal when you're trying to get to know someone. I think about when I first met Michelle. Michelle was really outgoing. Michelle, my girlfriend from Chicago.
Oh, Chicago.
Yeah, from Chicago. But she, when I first met her, she came up to me out of the blue. I mean, just out of the blue. And it was awkward for me because I was just like, I don't know you, you know what I mean? And she just was like, trying to vibe with me, etc. And I felt awkward, but I allowed that awkwardness to occur. And then we ended up being very, very good friends, right? And that's how a lot of my relationships.
Is she married or have children now?
It's so funny. I dreamed about her last night, that she was married, and she was telling me how awesome her husband was. But no, I don't think so. I think she's dating. I'm guaranteed after this, I'm gonna hear that she was engaged. She's engaged or something. Because I just had a dream about the fact that she was married last night. Weird. All right. But anyways, okay. So recommendations. So I said, just get started. Don't overthink it. Leverage the resources that we've provided. Make sure that when you get started in developing your Odyssey plans, I strongly recommend that you do it in the morning, if possible, when your mind is fresh, less distractions. Whatever you're doing, always keep a notebook. Keep a Post-it, keep something around you, especially.
Girl, I got them everywhere. I got in trouble at work for having them.
Did you? I remember when I got severed.
at the end of the day, please throw away your post-it notes. Some of those information have patient information on. I said no, but they don't. They don't, and it's coded. I be coding stuff. I write stuff just to remember, but it imprints it. So me writing imprints it on my brain.
Really helps you
So
to.
that's the main reason why I'm still writing, why everybody else still typing and stuff. I like to learn that way.
Well, we talked about that already. That hand to brain connection. The other bit that I was sharing, yeah. So keep a notepad, keep a pen, pencil close to you, especially when you're going on walks or you're exercising. Keep something around you that allows you, when you are doing something, to jot down those thoughts. And then lastly, if you find that you're stuck, mind map. And we've already provided you tools for mind mapping, right? Unstuck yourself, if I can say that. So, all right, Tiff. So this is the last question. Designers, they are truly gifted, and not prematurely committing to one path. And they tend to stay more open and able to receive and conceive more novel innovations. Do you believe this entire process helped you to become a better designer? And if so, in what ways have you seen your life enhanced or grown? Or have you grown?
I am a lot less charged and amped up about, as I communicated, I told you, I feel like my purpose and my focus should be more social justice and integrating that as a healthcare as a healthcare professional, integrating that into my my treatment plan to get people to improve their health. So I think that for me, I'm a lot less amped. I'm a lot less charged by the experience of developing a plan for my life. Because when you're planning, you have to be focused. You have to be in the right mindset to receive all the different things that come at you. So you have to one, be less emotional, right? Mm-hmm. You can still possess your passion. You can still possess your passion, but it's really important in order to realize those things, realize your plan, mm-hmm. That you're not so emotional. Because I think I have really, and it actually worked for me all this time, me being emotional, mm-hmm. because I think I moved people out the way because they were scared, because mm-hmm. I was so emotional. You know what I mean? True.
Tiptoe.
So that's probably so that's probably
girl, having folks tiptoe on like we walking on eggshells.
More success. It's kind of like Trump. But I don't want to be that way, because I don't want people to fear me. I want you to work with me. I want to collaborate. Like, I want to be the best version of myself by what you have to give me too. You know what I mean?
Very true. Very, very true. Very, very true. Well, I'll tell you, this process definitely helped me to grow. And this whole experience over the course of the year really inspired me. And as I was going through this process, one of the things that I said is that it continued to help me in a sense of flowing. And I said this before, and I hear it, all the time within my ear: flow like water, my friend. And in my life, I found that I've become even more fluid. And even when these unseen, if you will, forces attempt to defer my dreams, I have the capability to move through it and understand that I will prevail on the other side. And in designing my life, it has taught me that when you allow yourself to be more fluid and work through it, versus going around it, while you may be delayed, you will never be denied. And in addition, if you keep your mind open as you go through the process, you will see the good in every life situation. And if you handle yourself well, developing the right character and social and emotional tools, you'll be able to manage through any type of situation. Right. So definitely this has truly helped me to be a more effective designer, you know. Any last words?
No, I think this session was
It was fun.
and I think it's gonna be insightful. I think you should use mommy's little interruption there as a sound bite. No, seriously, because she came in and was like, I need to talk to you when you get here. So that could be about a journey. Right?
You know, an interruption from your mom. And mine just like,
girl, you're about to be there for 2 whole another weeks.
Oh my goodness, girl.
I said, I'll call you, honey.
Oh my goodness. But all right. So no last words. Any last words?
No, I just want people, I am really excited that we did this together, over a year's time, and we expected nothing.
No.
There was no expectation. It was just honestly to be able to socialize with one another, because we don't get that all the time. And then like be able just to, add something to our resume, or add something to
our lives.
Yeah, our life. Yeah.
Like I did, number one, because I wanted to help you. That was the number one reason why I started, because I was like, she wanted to do a podcast. I didn't think about a podcast. I was never thinking about a podcast. That never came up. And then I was like, I was reading that book, Designing Your Life, and I was like, this was what we should do our podcast on. Because I was trying to figure out what the heck I wanted to do, right? And so I think that's another reason why it was so successful. Is because we didn't have no expectation. We just came. Number one, I wanted to help you. I was like, hey, let's do a podcast together. Number two, I saw an opportunity to help myself, and if I could, in helping myself, help others, this is a win-win situation. Right. So, and I think that's why it lasted too. Most podcasts, they die after 1, 2, 5 episodes at most. Look at these podcasts that are out here. You got a bazillion of them. They got like 3 episodes and they're done.
But they should have been listening to us. They probably trying to do too much all at once.
Yeah. And that was another thing, because we couldn't. You're in doctoral school. I work full time, and I'm, doing virtual schooling with the kids. So I didn't want it to be overwhelming, which is why I tailored it in the way that I did. And even now I've kind of built the model. This is going to be the model going forward, so that we don't overwhelm ourselves, should we continue this journey. But some last words, and these last words actually came from the author that I wanted to make sure that I shared with everyone. Yes, there are multiple lives in which we can plan, right? And we all have the ability to choose which one to do. And it's not that you only have to do one. You can do all of them if you so desire. But I will tell you this, that if you're asking yourself or telling yourself, I don't want to do this incorrectly, don't. Because in all of this, as Tiffany, you had shared, there is no wrong way. Right? There is no failure at this. The only wrong way, or the only failure in all of it is to not do it.
That's true.
Yes. All right, folks. That is a wrap. And before we head out, we are lovers of music. And guess what, folks? What? Not only does Tiffany has a song choice, I have a song choice as well. So you guys get double this week. The only time ever in our 11-month series we have going on. Okay, Tiff, tell us your song choice.
So I want y'all to go out there and listen to Gone by Kanye. Oops. I'm up here starting it. Can you hear it then? You still couldn't hear it.
You can't put it on.
No, I know. But I just want you guys to go out there and listen to Gone by Kanye. So basically I chose that song because he's rapping about his journey in the music industry, and the changes he's underwent since he had gained fame. And then the lyrics also touch on the challenges and the pressures that he faced. And this draws parallels to what we were talking about today, to the idea of an Odyssey.
I like that. That one is actually very, very, very good. I didn't pick that one up, but I didn't pick it up either by the title, right? Gone, what? What gone? You know what I mean? I would not have picked all of that up by the title alone. But
you should listen to it though, or at least read the lyrics. They're good.
I'm gonna read the lyrics because I was like, I never even heard that. But I told you, the only time I've ever listened to Kanye is when he's gone mainstream, and I don't think that song went mainstream.
No, yes, it did, because it had Consequence and
okay,
and it featured two people. Yeah.
Okay. Well, my choice was Bon Jovi. Which one do you think? It's My Life. What is it? Bon Jovi, It's My Life. It's my life. Never heard of it? Are you singing it?
No, I said no. I don't remember that.
No, it says, this ain't a song for the broken hearted. No silent prayer for faith departed. And I ain't gonna be just a face in the crowd. You're gonna hear my voice when I shout it out loud. It's my life. It's now or never. But I
don't remember that song.
Ever. You haven't heard it?
I don't remember it.
Oh.
I feel like I've heard it because
you've heard it before. But yeah, he just says, it's my life. I just want to live while I'm alive. It's my life. My heart is like an open highway. Like Frankie said, I did it my way. I just want to live while I'm alive. It's my life. This is for the ones who stood their ground, for Tommy and Gina, who never backed down. All right. Very good. All right, folks. Well, join Tiffany and I in 2 weeks as we wrap the season with building a guiding team to help us in designing our lives. If you have ever found it difficult to network and engage the right people to build your tribe, you don't want to miss this episode. More details are forthcoming. So if you have any questions, want to learn more about the speakers, or to access all replays, please visit www.kinkyknotscafe.com. Proactive is the way, my friends. Take good care. Peace.